Joey,
how you doing?
Explain your business and what you do.
My name is Joey Carl. I'm the owner of Palm Beach Detailing and Ceramics. I've been doing paint correction and ceramic coating for the last 5 years, I would say, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, is being on my own doing this kind of thing. I basically make sure that the surface is completely decontaminated, scratch-free before I apply the Dr. Color Chip.
So I'm going to show you. There's the damage.
Sure.
There's that. Then you got this.
Oh, okay. A little bit of
that's a scrape against the concrete pole or garage or a similar issue up here.
One more. All right. Yep. Sweet. Okay. So, yep. Basic order of operation here. Make sure we're going to clean the surface real well. Then, decontaminate it as if we need to. I mean, it feels pretty soft. Yeah, like you said, we'll eye it down. We'll see if there's any other, little nicks or knacks that can be touched up, and we'll bang them out.
Good deal.
I don't know if it's gonna measure it there, but yeah, this is so low. That's Toyota, Honda, Nissan. They all have such poor paint. So basically what I'm going to try to achieve here is just to clean up this vicinity of the area that's been affected to make sure that when the color chip is applied, it's applied in the areas that it can go ahead and seep into and look flush as possible.
So Joey, explain what you're doing here and why you're doing it.
Yes, sir. So right now I'm just giving the vehicle an initial wipe down in the areas that are affected with damage to ensure that it's just cleaned up first. And next I'm going to hit it with some polymer fine clay to remove any contamination on the surface. That way when I go ahead and use my buffing tools to remove any of the little marks and scrapes. I'm just going to start off nice and small here. I'm going to actually do it with a micro cut just to see how it comes off. Like I said, we're just going to remove just some of this nonsense here. So right now I have it's a different kind of combo. For the buffer tool, this is a Flex PXE80 3-inch buffer. This is my absolute favorite buffing tool. It's able to remove anything as far as minor scratches, contamination, anything that a bigger buffer would do just on a smaller diameter. But I'm not going to kill it with a heavy compound. I'm actually going to go right ahead and use a micro cut to see if this will start removing it as necessary. So now, I know it seems ridiculous, it's like getting lint off your microfiber towels. And we should just need 4 little dots. Now what's crazy is that no matter the size of the pad, you get a very minimal working area. So the working area of typical pads is going to be the first 2 inches from the center of the pad itself is what works. So that's why we don't go all the way to the edge. So we're just going to dab the surface here, make sure it's got some solution on there. We're just going to hit it nice and lightly with a 2 on about 2,000 RPM. Just going to see if this is going to start removing it. And remember, we need to see our buffer rotating in a clockwise rotation. 3-inch microfiber cutting pad, so anything that flies off of it is because it's just brand new. You can already see a lot of it disappearing and getting a little bit cleaner as we continue our passes. Buffing is from left to right and then up and down while overlapping. So the first thing I usually do is I spread it, as you saw. Get a little fresh towel here. You're good. This is Rupes Coarse, D8 Coarse. It's for dual action orbital. It's meant for heavy scratches to really refine your paint to get it, as best of a scratch removal as possible done. So I can immediately start seeing it work a little bit better, just because of the cut and how much of a stronger cut it is. It's got more of a grip to the surface, so I'm able to really remove a little finer. I'm going to go with a foam pad.
And what's the reason to change?
The reason to change is that's a harsher pad. So a microfiber cutting pad isn't going to get the finish that you're going to want to get at the end of the day. This definitely helps it out, but a polish is needed. You can see it may be a little cloudy. So I'm going to quickly apply the same product we were using just a bit ago with the foam pad here. All right.
Now, are you going to do another step here?
From here, I could, but for what this is just the only step I have left is just to prep.
Yeah.
And when I prep the surface, it's because I'm either going to be ceramic coating it or I'm going to be applying the Dr. Color Chip to make it adhere to the surface better and then make sure it's layered on accordingly if I have to stack it, if it's a really deep gash. You know, there's a lot of little factors that...
To enhance adhesion, what would you do?
I would do an alcohol prep step, which is what I'm about to do.
Okay.
It's just a preparation spray. It's literally just surface prep spray, and this will make it so that it absorbs to the surface better and allow it to, the paint color chip kit, to literally sit inside this groove and mold over. And
yeah. This is tricky because it's on the leading edge.
Yes, it is.
So when you put paint over here, what we're going to try to do is use a squeegee method and get as much paint there to cover. But if you go back over with our Seal-Act, you're going to, because this is projecting out, you're going to remove some of that.
Yes,
so you got to be careful. You got to work yourself around this area and try to carefully remove the excess that's outside the black area.
That is correct.
So it takes, you know, sometimes you may accidentally remove some of the paint, you're going to have to reapply.
Yeah,
it's a little tricky.
It happens, and it happens all the time.
We should be able to make it look pretty good.
Yeah, I have confidence. I think it's going to look a lot better than having her spend, you know, $4,500 in a repair bill at the collision center. So I think this step.
And Mackenzie's, she's a nice lady, but she's still driving, so I wouldn't spend that money right now.
Fresh drivers, man. Those fresh drivers.
Yeah.
Again, like they said, this is just an alcohol prep spray, so I'm just basically cleaning the surface in lieu of preparation for the color chip or ceramic coating, or color chip and then ceramic coating. So it definitely plays a good factor all in all. And then that's pretty much it for this, this step here. Now it's ready for the business.
Good deal. Let's continue and then
relocate.
We'll begin doing the work. This is tricky because it's on the leading edge.
Yes, it is.
So when you put paint over here, what we're going to try to do is use a squeegee method and get as much paint there to cover. But if you go back over with our Seal-Act, you're going to, because this is projecting out, you're going to remove some of that.
Yes,
so you got to be careful. You got to work yourself around this area. This is a pipette. There's a little hole. And again, before I open this, I shook it up. There's BBs in here. It makes the paint mix properly. And then you basically put this pipette right in that hole. You squeeze, and it pulls up the paint. What you can do, I like to put the squeegee below the damage, and it's a beveled squeegee, and it's flexible, so as you go up this thing, this is the leading edge of the damage, so you're going to want to come this way and try to, again, you'll probably remove some of the paint, you'll have to reapply, but then you can go this way. But on the first drop, I'm going to drop it up top and let it just kind of go down the scratch.
Do you include the pipette for your color chip kits? Or
with the squirt and squeegee kit, you get some pipettes, but you can buy them in 10 packs.
Sure.
They're cheap. And don't worry, you see how this is kind of running down the panel? That's okay. What we're trying to do in this initial pass is get some coverage to the chips. It's not going to be perfect. Now see that? I need to let that dry longer. But I'll go ahead and use a little bit more paint. The paint's designed, it's really not needed. The paint's designed to dry very quickly.
Sure.
I would give this, because it's a larger area, I'd let it sit for about 5 minutes.
Sure.
And then you can still see reasonably well the outline of the area that hasn't been damaged. And so I'm going to work carefully along the edges to remove the paint that's not over the scratch. I'm going to let that dry, come back, and I'm going to try to remove the excess. I can see where the paint's coming through a little bit, which is fine. I'll remove it. I'll probably end up removing some of the paint that's covering the damage, but then I'll just do a second pass and reapply it again. Because once our paint adheres to the paint that's on there, and I won't be able to keep all that paint on there, I'll have to do another pass.
Yes.
And then I'll have to carefully go around the edges, a droplet or two next to the chip, and I squeegee over across.
That is correct.
And when you do that, the paint will fall into the chip and it will level it nicely. I would let this sit and then come back. It'll be pretty hardened tomorrow. But if you're patient, you can remove the excess paint off the top without removing what's below. And then you don't see the damage below it. So I'll let that set. In 10 minutes, I'll come back and try to cut it down just a little bit. I'm gonna leave that.
It's a lot better than.
It's getting there. Yeah. Now take it from you're 3 feet or so.
Because I've noticed, obviously when I'm applying certain different colors, this one smells different than this one. Not like I'm inhaling it, but I smell it because I'm putting it on.
I think some is lacquer, then they have the
Acrylic, yep.
Urethanes?
Yep, yep.
Poly, yeah. I mean, there are all kinds. Yeah, it can be used as perfume too. I just don't want to take paint out of the black areas.
Doesn't it stink that we have to wait now? Like this I know, right? It's like the only problem. It's like, oh, so we can do this, but we have to wait. Yeah. That's what I'm asking. Are you able to sand it down to get it to level?
It has to be. I mean, I'd give it 30 days if you're going to really for a full cure.
Sure, yes.
And you're going to do just a fine wet sand. Yeah.
Just because of
you could probably knock it down
like that.
You know, depending on if you've done it in a way. Some people try to do it. It's
layering it correctly, right? I know.
So it's actually elevated above.
That's correct.
It's tricky.